Cybersecurity company ForeScout Technologies climbed in its public trading debut. After raising $116 million in its IPO, pricing shares at the top end of the range. ForeScout CEO Michael Decesare sat down with our Bloomberg IPO reporter Barinka in New York. He discussed the next big thing in cybersecurity. Take a listen.
The space in the cyber world that we participate in is visibility. I know it sounds very basic, but simply giving a company asset inventory or visibility of what is on their network is the next big thing in cyber, and that's the place that we play.
Is that where a lot of the incursions are coming in now? I know your background, you've worked at McAfee, you've been at EMC. These days, what's the #1 place where your clients are concerned that bad actors potentially get their hands on clients' data?
I think what we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years is an incredible growth in what you'd call IoT, just the number of devices that are coming onto a company's network. Just like your house, you know, the thermostat and the TV and the security cameras are all paired with the network, and that's the same way they work in corporations. And I think what CIOs are dealing with in this day and age now is this explosion of devices, and many of those devices don't have security on them. So you can do the best job possible on 99% of what's on your network, and the bad actor is going to find the one way in. You know, we didn't think twice about having security cameras on our network until we woke up one day and the Mirai botnet had taken over a lot of those. And I think that's what we're starting to recognize is all of these IoT devices become an attack vector.
And those CIOs and even CEOs' heads are on the table potentially if somebody gets into one of their employees' devices. When I think about kind of the biggest incursions lately, Equifax obviously comes to mind. What would you say would be the time frame before we see something else that's as big and resounding throughout the industry as the Equifax hack? You
know, sadly, we see those on a very frequent basis. And ironically, these are some of the companies that spend the most money on IT that have these breaches. And CEOs are accountable these days. You know, boards hold CEOs accountable. If you're going to take your customers' data online, then you have a responsibility to keep it safe. And conversely, when you see a company that doesn't make the headlines from a breach, there's consumer confidence that comes along with that. But I think we will be seeing breaches of that scale on a more frequent basis as we go forward.
So ForeScout now has $116 million of fresh cash from this IPO. Where are you going to put that to work?
So, you know, the opportunity that we have in front of us of selling visibility, we have 17% of the Global 2000 that uses our product at scale, but that leaves 83% of the Global 2000 that doesn't. And many of those organizations do not have a strategy in place for visibility. If you ask a typical CIO if they know with clarity what's on their network, the answer is no. Because if you did, you wouldn't let the bad thing in to begin with. So, you know, we are a financially responsible company, but we will continue to invest those dollars back in engineering and sales and other areas so that we can kind of help keep the world a safer place and keep customers safe through visibility.